My name's Michael Martelli, owner-operator of Martelli Forestry. We're located there in Anaconda, Montana, serving basically southwest and the whole western part of Montana. We're not opposed to traveling. Our main focus is forestry management. We like to emphasize on urban forest restoration. A lot of us are moving to the urban forest setting in which we feel that potentially when we have trees, they do not need to be managed. In this instance here, this is a very highly sought after piece of property. It's been managed within reason, but at the same time, these trees need proper spacing for proper growth and for minimization of fire potential. This potential unit here did have a fire back down to it, and just luckily enough the Forest Service was able to come in here and make an anchor point and actually save this guy's property. Now if he had had the initiative beforehand to manage his property, the Forest Service would have already had an anchor point established and they would have been so much further ahead of the game. Just luckily enough they came to the rescue and was able to save the majority of this private property unit. So now with half of the property being burnt and the other half that's still overgrown and unmanaged, we're in here trying to selectively harvest the mature trees. It's just like anything that has to be managed. It's a renewable resource that can generate revenue and beauty for your land for years to come. A lot of us, we think that just because we own trees or forest or land that it doesn't have to be managed. Well, you're totally wrong. These trees have a lifespan of anywhere between 100 to 200 years depending on the species of the tree. And a lot of these trees basically rot from the inside out. And so when we got that understory with the not proper managed forest, it definitely leaves it acceptable to fire conditions. As anyone's aware that we're basically now today are having mega fires. I don't think people comprehend the forestry management practices today. Today we have so many dead trees that we cannot do direct attack for fire. So basically we draw a line around a perimeter and hope to stop the fire by burning. You can see by us in here logging today with proper weather conditions and ground conditions, basically zero impact. I mean, we've taken what small debris there is and tried to ground it up into a mulch, so to speak, that'll hold seed and moisture and rejuvenate. Within 2 to 3 years, you're gonna have seedlings and saplings in here 2 to 3 feet tall. Up behind us, there's a fire that burnt 3 years ago and you still can't even see hardly a blade of grass. Why? Because the duff is burnt, the seed is burnt, and now it's very unhealthy. And it's gonna take hundreds of years for it to rejuvenate itself versus us coming in here with a renewable resource for us to manage. Our operation is small and efficient. So in other words, we don't have a lot of overhead, so we're not trying to do the job as fast as possible. We're trying to do the job as efficient as possible. Just like today in this instance, we got some good footage of us pulling steel cable from a skidder, which has a grapple. Typically no one would do this, but we're up against an SMZ, which is called a stream management zone, which will only allow us to get within a certain distance of the waterway, which is a great regulation. So therefore you have to improvise and actually use physical work to make sure you can manage and prescribe this unit. So we've taken the initiative to cut the trees, following them uphill away from the stream, so therefore we can hook them with a steel cable by the top, drag them to another destination to unhook them, rehook them again. So basically we're doing something 4 or 5 times over again just because we have that initiative, the ability, and we want to work. I love the mountains, I love Montana. I've got good communication skills where I can build good relations and talk to people and be on the same page and respect your land. I mean, we're not out to clear cut by any means. We're out to selectively harvest. Proper crown space will allow trees to reach their maximum potential. Just because you have trees doesn't mean each tree is going to be X amount of diameter and so big. I mean, they've got to be finessed. You know, they've got to be managed. They've got to have the proper water, they've got to have the proper sunlight, the proper spacing. Soil conditions are also a big must. I mean, so therefore, even if we do prescribe that, it still has different elements of nature of the beast, so to speak, to produce a nice healthy forest.